What's the scariest thing that happened to you on Halloween? I was on my way to meet my boyfriend at a skyscraper rooftop Halloween party when the elevator door opened and I saw an actual monster. My ex, Henry, who once hit me so hard I needed a blood transfusion. My whole body locked up behind my masquerade mask and heavy makeup, the elaborate costume suddenly feeling like both armor and a trap, as he stepped into the elevator without even glancing at me. Henry pressed the button for the roof and leaned against the wall, scrolling through his phone, completely unaware that the woman in the corner dressed as a plague doctor was me. The mask covered everything but my eyes, and the historical costume included gloves, a full cloak, and boots that changed my height. But my heart was hammering so hard I was sure everyone could hear it. There were 3 other people in the elevator, which made me feel slightly safer as we rose from the parking garage basement toward the lobby. A couple dressed as zombies were making out in the corner, and a guy in a Superman costume was texting, creating a buffer between Henry and me. But I knew that would change as people got off at different floors. The elevator stopped at the lobby and more people got on, pushing me further into the corner, and Henry had to step backward, closer to me. I could smell his cologne, the same one he'd been wearing the night he'd thrown me down the stairs because I'd smiled at a male barista. He was dressed as Patrick Bateman from American Psycho, which was so on the nose it would have been funny if I wasn't trying not to throw up from fear. "Cool costume," he said to me casually as we passed the 3rd floor, and I just nodded, not trusting my voice even with the mask muffling it. The zombies got off at floor 5. The Superman got off at floor 8. By floor 12 it was just me, Henry, and an older woman dressed as a witch. Gray was waiting for me on the roof, probably checking his phone and wondering where I was. We'd planned this for weeks, our first public event together. Finally ready to stop hiding our relationship, but all I could think about was what Henry had said the last time I saw him. "If I ever see you with another man, I'll kill him first so you can watch." The witch got off at floor 15, and then it was just Henry and me. 20 more floors. My legs were shaking so badly I had to lock my knees to stay upright. "Great party tonight," Henry said, still scrolling through his phone. "Should be wild." I nodded again, watching the floor numbers climb. 16, 17. My costume was soaked with sweat under all the layers, and I could feel my makeup running beneath the mask. Floor 22, 23, and Henry shifted his weight, moving slightly closer to me without seeming to notice. I pressed myself harder against the wall, remembering how he used to do that, take up space until I had nowhere to go. The elevator felt smaller with each floor we passed. I thought about Gray's face when he'd asked me why I was so secretive about my past, why I didn't have social media, why I always looked over my shoulder when we were out. I told him I'd explain someday, but someday wasn't supposed to be tonight, not like this, not with Henry right there to see us together. Floor 28, and my phone buzzed with a text. I knew it was Gray without looking, probably wondering if I was almost there, if I was okay. Henry glanced over at the sound, but then went back to his phone. I didn't dare reach for mine, didn't dare move at all. "You know, you're really committed to staying in character," Henry said as we passed floor 30. "Haven't said a word this whole ride?" I shrugged, the movement making my costume rustle, and he laughed. That laugh used to make me flinch, usually came right before something bad. Floor 32, 33, and all I could think about was what would happen when those elevator doors opened. Gray would see me and call out, maybe even pull me into a hug, and Henry would see everything. The last time a man had shown interest in me while I was with Henry, it was just a waiter being friendly, bringing me extra bread because I mentioned I loved their focaccia. Henry had waited until we got home, then held my hand over the stove burner until I promised never to flirt again. The waiter had been fired the next week after Henry made some calls.